Anna. I'm the dietitian.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
That's good to hear. How far are you?
Well, I just started my second trimester. It's going okay. I just have some questions about my, my diet and everything throughout the pregnancy.
Okay. Did you have anything specific that you wanted to talk about, or did you just want to talk about something in general, or?
I actually just wanted to get some information about being healthy, exercising. I know
Okay.
The internet is no help right now since, there's people putting in random stuff in there. So I wanted to get an expert or, an expert's advice.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. So it sounds like you just want to get some tips on just being healthier and have your baby grow healthy.
Yes.
Just overall be in a
Mhm.
good, healthy state for your baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I do have some healthy pregnancy tips. And then you could stop me at any point where you have any questions, or if you think of something that comes up, we can always go more in depth about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a couple tips that I could share with you. Is it okay if we go over the MyPlate real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with this, but the USDA recommends that you fill your plate half up with non-starchy vegetables, and this is really good because you can get your folic acid that way. So to prevent neural tube defects, you want to have some folic acid in your diet. Do you take any prenatals right now?
I do, and I actually wanted to ask, should I continue taking them or?
Well, it doesn't hurt to continue taking your prenatal vitamins. I would, if you have any questions about any specific, are you taking any vitamin D?
Yes,
Okay.
and I heard iron is really good too. So
Yeah,
I
so
put more.
I mean that also goes in hand with the vegetables and your fruit intake. So are you still?
That's the thing.
Go ahead.
I'm actually really unhealthy. I don't like fruits. I don't like vegetables. So for me to put those in my diet, it's hard. I'm very, very picky. So taking vitamins is kind of like the way I'm trying to get them into my body since I'm
Okay.
not eating them.
Okay, so can you walk me through? Is it okay if you walk me through an average day of what you eat when you first wake up, and then?
I know they say breakfast is the most healthiest meal of the day.
Yeah.
I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
I drink coffee. I eat one meal a day, even though I know it's wrong. You're supposed to eat 3 to 5 small meals a day
That's okay.
and drink a lot of water. I don't do that either. It's horrible. I do have to fix my diet. I do have to get on track to being healthier for me. And now that I have a baby, to take care of, and I just want to fix that up.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So you say you're not eating any breakfast. So what time do you normally have your first meal?
It would be around noon.
Okay, and that's when you typically would have lunch. And what would you normally eat for lunch?
Since I do work, it depends on,
Just whatever is nearby.
yeah, takeout, it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when's your next meal? Do you have another meal after that, or?
Usually I don't.
Okay.
I would probably have another coffee in the afternoon and then, snack.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you snacking on?
Chips.
Okay. All right. So that sounds like it's definitely a progress. We can work on that. There's definitely places where we can have some improvements. So as far as your fruit and vegetable intake, you don't really have any. And is it because you don't like the taste, or is it it's just not convenient to have around, or?
No, I really don't like the taste. Even
Okay.
if I get a sandwich and they're in there, I would pick them out. I'm very picky with my food, so.
Would you ever consider juicing or having a smoothie?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
actually.
So that's one way of getting some fruits. And then do you eat any soup, or?
Yeah.
So
I
you
do.
can always make soup and chop up some vegetables in there, or if you're at work, you can always order it from the restaurant, like a minestrone soup or a cream of mushroom soup or something, just to get your vegetable intake up, because it's kind of lacking in that area. But that's okay for now.
Mhm.
I mean, you are coming here. That the first step is trying to get some type of help.
Yeah.
So that's good. And so as I know you were asking about the iron intake,
Mhm.
and so as long as you have your iron, like you eat meat or something like that, and then you'll have maybe like a tomato-based sauce. So let's say you have lasagna, right? And then
That's actually my favorite food.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So let's say you had lasagna and then you made it with beef, and you would want to add a tomato sauce because the vitamin C helps the absorption of the iron,
Okay.
and that'll be really healthy for you and your baby.
Okay.
So yeah, is there any other questions that you had for me before we?
So I do eat out a lot because
Okay.
of work. What foods should I try to avoid during this
Okay.
pregnancy?
So is there like a common place that you really go to? Because that would really help if I. Otherwise, we could just. Is it always just
like, is
in
it?
the air?
It's yeah, it's whatever's in the area.
Okay.
But if it's just like a sandwich or a burger here and there, I know I'm
Okay.
trying to get down on the burgers with the fats and stuff, and I know we have to, watch the gain weight.
Okay.
Wait.
So and then is it okay to go over this handout real quick with you?
Mhm.
Okay. So it does talk about foods that you should avoid. So you do want to avoid raw foods. You don't want to obviously eat any raw eggs. I don't think anybody's really eating any raw eggs, but just make sure that you cook your eggs completely.
Okay.
And that was the point that this is trying to make. And then as far as, of course it says fruit and vegetables. Right now we're not really concerned with that, but I do want to see you improve that as well.
Mhm.
And then as far as your fish intake, and I know a lot of women have that.
I love fish.
I know a lot of women have that concern because they're like, I love fish, I love sushi.
Sushi, that's actually another question of mine. Can I have sushi?
Okay. So fish, you can have fish as long as it's low in mercury, and we can go over which ones are low and which ones are high.
Yeah, because I would never know.
Right, and then they do want you to limit it to 12 ounces per week, and I know nobody's really weighing or checking how much their fish is, but just focus on the low mercury foods. And I think I have it in this handout over here, and if it's not in this one, yeah, it's in this one. Okay, so the low mercury fish are catfish, crab, flounder, haddock, and then the foods that actually have high mercury are going to be like your tuna or your sea bass or your swordfish.
Okay.
Are those any types of fishes that you're okay?
No.
So then you're fine in that area.
Yeah.
And then as far as sushi goes, sushi is actually okay to eat, so you don't have to
Really?
give it up. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And there's vegetables sometimes in sushi, so that'll also help.
I would pick them out.
But I will say just make sure that they're cooked because you don't want to have any raw sushi.
Yeah.
So, and I know that's like the most popular, but I don't know if that's what you're considering.
No,
But just
I don't
make
like
sure
raw
that-
sushi, so that's.
Yeah.
I
And
just
then-
thought I had to give it up for 9 months. I'm like,
Right.
I don't know I'm gonna do that.
That's really hard because I love sushi too. But, and I will say, because I know a lot of sushi places have like different funky names and you never really know what's inside of them. So just make sure that you're reading and asking questions because you and your baby's health come first.
Of course.
Okay. And then were there any other questions that I didn't answer for you? I'm sorry if we're going too fast. I'm sorry about it.
So I am okay. So I just entered my second trimester. I feel like I'm too big, I guess, because in my head, I mean, I'm eating for 2, so I feel like I'm eating extra.
Right.
What's the normal healthy weight gain for, pregnant
Okay.
women throughout the pregnancy?
Right. So from what you told me and what you filled out in your questionnaire, you're at a healthy weight. You were at a healthy weight pre-pregnancy, and you're still at a healthy weight right now. But for your pre-pregnancy weight, we base it off of a 25 to 35 pound weight gain, and right now you're on a healthy track. So I wouldn't really be concerned about that.
Okay.
And then I know people say that you're eating for 2, and that is actually a common myth because your baby is really tiny. So
that would make sense.
So you only really want to add about 300 to 500 calories per day.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
So then it's okay.
I mean, right now it doesn't really seem like you're eating much.
Yeah. So
So-
just add more a little bit, like 25
Yeah.
to 30. Okay. I can do that. Okay, and then what about after the pregnancy? When how long do you think it's gonna be to get back to my normal weight?
So right now, I would just be concerned about the health of you and your baby, and I wouldn't really be too concerned with what happens after your pregnancy. I know you just entered your second trimester, and you have a whole third trimester to go.
Yes.
And so once we get maybe a little bit closer to your third trimester, we can discuss a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I don't want that to be stressing you out right now because, I mean, that could also take a toll on you. And then I don't want you to have to like restrict calories here and there because
Yeah.
that is not what we want for you at all. So I wouldn't focus too much on that right now. But I can provide some more information for you at our next meeting if that's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, because I don't want to like have you stress about, I want to get back to my original weight.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Yeah,
worry,
you're
you're
gonna
absolutely
restrict,
fine.
Okay.
And I know a lot of pregnant mothers have this concern as well. And you're not the only one, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Another question is coffee. So, as I mentioned before, I'm a big coffee drinker. That's all I drink in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I also drink it in the afternoon. Is that healthy for my baby?
So is it like a black coffee? Are you having cream
No.
and sugar?
It's iced coffee.
Iced coffee
Yeah,
for
I
like
don't
lunch
have
or something.
hot coffee or black
Okay.
coffee.
Is it like
Cream
loaded
and
with
sugar.
Is it like loaded with sugar?
Yeah, definitely
Okay,
loaded with sugar.
well, I wouldn't say, I think that's okay. Iced coffee is a little touchy subject because we do want you to, we always say it's okay to have at least 12 ounces of coffee during the pregnancy. But then with iced coffee, it's kind of hard to tell how much coffee you're actually drinking
Of
because it's
course.
always milk down and water down. So, and because it has so much sugar in it, maybe I wouldn't say take it out of your diet because this is what's making you survive throughout your pregnancy.
Yes.
So I wouldn't completely cut it out, but I would think about maybe reducing it to maybe 3 or 4 times a week
Okay. Instead of 2 times a day.
instead of 2 times a day. But I mean, if this is what's getting you going, because you do have a busy life, you have work, and you have a family life,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay to drink coffee, but just watch how much sugar that you're putting into it because it does get high,
Yeah.
and you don't want your glucose levels to get out of whack.
Yeah.
But right now your glucose levels are okay, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
But you know what I'm talking. Was there any other questions that you had?
Should I do like a low fat diet
Is it because you don't want to gain any weight?
to kind of like maintain it? A healthy weight throughout the pregnancy. I don't want to
Right.
because you can gain weight like that when you're pregnant because the baby is, getting bigger. So I want to see how I can kind of like steady it out. You know what I mean?
Right. So you just want to follow. You don't want to gain any extra bad weight.
Yes.
Okay. So we have the 3 macronutrients. So it's carbohydrates, fats, and protein.
Okay.
And if you have too much of any of the macronutrients, you're gonna gain weight. So fats aren't really necessarily bad. It's just the types of fats that you'd be consuming. So if you have a lot of saturated fats, which we call like the bad fats,
Mm-hmm.
or any fried foods, I would definitely think about reducing those.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have good fats, and I think we didn't go over that in the My Plate. But there are like lean beef. Do you like salmon?
Yeah.
That salmon is really high in omega-3, so that's also really good for you and your heart. And then chicken. So these are all really good fats for you. So I wouldn't say that you need to follow a low-fat diet. I would just say watch how much you're eating of each food group, right? Especially the carbohydrates. You don't want to have too many high processed carbohydrates because that's going to actually cause you to have the negative weight gain that you
Don't want. Yeah.
don't want. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing. So, with work, it's very hard for me to get to the gym and exercise.
Right.
But I also did hear, you need to rest, don't walk a lot, or, what's a good exercise schedule, or what's...
So, were you exercising before you were pregnant?
No, I was not.
Okay. So what kind of activity right now are you getting at work? Are you on your feet all day?
Yeah, I'm on my feet all day. So I want to know if that's healthy for me and my baby. Am I moving around too much? Is that is it gonna cause any,
Right. So I know our moms like to tell us that, stay, you don't have to move, just sit down, rest, don't work. But that's actually a myth. It's actually really healthy for you to be on your feet, walking
I was
around,
looking forward to
moving.
sitting at home, but
I
okay.
know. Hey, do whatever you want, but you can definitely actually improve your baby's health and your health if you walk 30 minutes a day. And I know with that work, it's kind of like a pause, like you're walking around and you're sitting, you're walking around and you're sitting. So just try to keep a light activity. No, you don't really need to run around. You can, but since you weren't really doing that before, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to continue to do that or start doing that when you're pregnant. But you can definitely walk around 30 minutes a day. You and your spouse can go walk around the block or something like that. That's definitely really healthy for you and the baby. And then it'd also be healthy for your husband and you to have some like bonding time and stuff like that. Is there any other things that you want to go over? Any other questions that you might have had?
I know I'm probably going to see you again in the next session, but I do want to get some information about after giving birth, breastfeeding. What would be like? What would I be still? Would I still be able to lose weight while breastfeeding, or is that?
Yeah. So that's actually really common. So some women do see a weight loss while they're breastfeeding. It's just because the baby's taking some calories from you, which is okay. I mean, some women like to increase their calorie intake because the baby does take a lot from them, and then some women just choose not to. But we'd always advise to don't take any less than 15 to 1,800 calories, because some women actually try to use that as a way to lose weight, but it's actually really unhealthy, and it does take a huge toll on the body. So don't focus on that too much as a way of losing weight.
Yeah.
Just try to focus on you and your baby's health. I think you'll realize once you start breastfeeding, you'll just be hungry because the baby's taking so much out of you.
That's true.
So I don't think it'll be a concern in that. And then if you do, I know, is it okay? Did you want any more tips? You can take some with you, and you can look it over if you'd like. And then if you have any questions, you can always call our office, or you can bring them with you next time. It's no problem.
These are very helpful. It actually answers a lot of my questions.
Yeah, and then it also talks about some sanitary techniques, because your baby's going to be around you, and you may be sweating or cooking, or just to stay, have some good hygiene.
Okay.
Was there anything else that you would like to go over? We have a few minutes left in our session.
Water intake. So how much water should I drink? I'm not drinking a lot of water. Usually, coffee is what gets me going, and when I have that, I'm not really hungry or thirsty for anything else. But how much water should I be getting? I know an average 8 cups a day. Yeah. Right?
And you're consuming
0 cups a day? No, at least like maybe
1 cup a day.
1 cup a day throughout the day. I know it's bad, but is there like more cups of water that I should be taking while pregnant?
So I don't want you to go from having 0 cups of water a day to having 10 cups of water a day. I mean, that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for a huge lifestyle change, right? So do you have like a water bottle at home or one that you buy a cheap one or something like that? Right. So I would suggest at least filling that up once or twice a day and just carrying it around. Bring it with you to work, leave it in the car, or at least have one in the car and one with you at work. Just always have water accessible, and then whenever you're drinking a cup of coffee, always have a cup of water with you, because the coffee is going to dehydrate you. Because do you ever notice when you drink coffee, you have to pee more often?
Yes.
The coffee is dehydrating you. It's making you go to the bathroom, and now you're losing more water in your body.
I thought it was because of the pregnancy.
Well, a little bit of both. But yeah, so just make sure that you're drinking whatever you have. Let's say an 8-ounce coffee, have an 8-ounce cup of water with it. So even when you go to Starbucks, or if you're going to I don't know about Dunkin', but if you go to Starbucks and order coffee, you can always ask for a cup of iced water as well, and they'll just give it to you for free. So if that's an incentive, everybody likes free things.
Okay.
Right, so just try to drink more water. It's good for you and your fetus.
Okay. Is there any other advice that you might give me?
Right, so I know you had a lot of questions about some kind of myths that you may have heard from other mothers and stuff like that. So I do have, if it's okay if we go over this, I do have some pregnancy nutrition myths. Some things we already spoke about. So we did talk about your eating for 2 and how much weight you should be gaining.
Yes.
We didn't talk about salt, so some women think that they need to stay away from salt to avoid some swelling which isn't true.
Yeah.
Sodium is actually really good for you, and it's an electrolyte. Just don't have too much salt. And I think they're just trying to say stay away from the fried foods.
Okay.
Which when you're pregnant, you can't really control your cravings, but try to just stay away from
I haven't had any of those yet.
Okay. And then we did talk about a low-fat diet and some saturated fats to avoid, so the bad fats. We want to avoid lard, butter, and butterfat. And then you want to try to consume more of, olive oil, if you like it, in your hummus in the morning, and then some nuts or margarine, and then just make sure your fish is cooked. That's what we talked about as well. We didn't talk about this, but you said you like meat, so this is just a question about do I need meat? But that's
In the
more
diet?
so for vegetarians, and I don't think that really.
No. Okay.
We talked about the fish. We talked about the low levels of mercury, the moderate levels of mercury, and the high levels of mercury.
I like how it lists the different types of fish that I would be able to have, and
Right.
you know how much mercury is in each.
Good, right. So you can always take this home and review it, and then if you have any questions.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
This actually also talks about the sushi, so that actually works out really well for you. And then it talks about the omega-3s that are really good for you, for your brain and your eyes, and your heart. And then we did talk about folic acid, but we didn't really talk about calcium. So it is recommended that you take a multivitamin with, we did talk about iron, folic acid, calcium, and vitamin D, because those aren't usually added in all prenatal vitamins,
Right.
so just make sure that you know what's in your prenatal.
Mhm.
And then it does talk about dairy products that you should avoid, and I think there's actually a better list. I think it's in that packet.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so just avoid the specific dairy items that you should avoid. So just make sure that you're avoiding, I think it says like soft cheeses or something
Mhm.
like that. So just, and then did you want to take this?
Yes.
And then, so these were, we also talked about this, we went over it. And then it does talk about some shopping tips. I think that'll be really helpful as
Yes.
well. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to go over before we complete our session today?
No, I think you covered a lot of my questions and concerns today.
Right.
I really appreciate this. It is very helpful. I know that I do need to start taking care of my body, being more healthy, not only for me, not only when pregnant, but also like on a daily level.
Right. Okay, so I know we talked a lot today. Did you want to set any goals for the next time that we meet?
I do want to come back and tell you that I'm eating more fruits and vegetables, drinking more water. I know it's horrible to say, and I know it. It's
Yeah.
just very hard to just change it, so I do want to work on that more.
Okay, did you want to choose just one goal, or did you want to work on both?
Both, definitely,
Okay.
because with this 9 months, I really don't have all that time to work on it. I did want to kind of, at least during this pregnancy and a little bit after, just be extra hard on myself to be extra healthy, because I am taking care of the baby, and it's something that I need to do.
Okay.
And then also that's also a lifestyle change that's going to happen afterwards too. So if I stick to
Right.
this, hopefully
Absolutely.
it'll
Yeah.
help later on.
Okay. So let's set a goal, and then we'll check on you the next time that we meet. So I think the most important one for you, that it sounded like for me, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, was a fruit and vegetable intake.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to try consuming at least one vegetable or one fruit a day for like 2 days a week. Like, it doesn't even have to be the full 7 days. We could just start slow.
Slow,
There's
and
no
then-
pressure, exactly. So
Yeah.
2 days, and then if you feel comfortable and you're craving apples, go ahead and go for that
Go
third
for
day.
the apple.
And then,
Yeah,
and if you want to work on a second goal, totally up to you. I'm not going to hold you to this, but if you do want to work on the consuming more water,
Mhm.
and then carrying around a water bottle, I think that would really be helpful for you and your baby.
Yeah, I'll definitely start doing that, and then taking these into consideration also. These are really helpful.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna complete the session for today, and I can't wait to meet you next time and see if you have your baby. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.